One of those weeks again, and I forgot my tripod. In fact, I've forgotten both tripods. I've also forgot my sit mat. I also didn't have enough pegs with me either. Turns out that the bathtub floor is no longer waterproof. Right, one of those weeks again. So I had actually planned to do a nice summer tarp bivvy camp in a new area today, but I'd also packed up the hammock in a separate bag, all that gear, just in case there wasn't enough room to get a decent lay on the bivvy bag. And then, for the first time in absolutely bloody months, it's rained. So it rained last night, it's still drizzling today, there's more rain on the horizon, the clouds are all dark. I'll show you some clouds. It's all a little bit grey, so I'm expecting some more rain. Also, the wind got up, so the area that I was going to go to was forecasting 25-26 miles an hour wind gusts. Kilometres an hour, sorry, not miles. Which meant hammocks were no good. Too much in the trees. And it's all forestry planted, so it's not like they're very set in the ground or anything. So that was an out. So fast change around, come back to a formation spot, quickly packed up the bag with a tent and all that sort of gear, slightly warmer equipment because I think the temperature's going to drop tonight with the rain coming through. In fact, I can feel it's dropping now. So I don't know quite how much filming I'm going to do. It might all be strange angles. We'll see. I'm going to get the tent up. Brought the teepee tent, the one Tigress. I can't remember what it's called now. Might actually just be called teepee tent. Can't remember. I haven't had that for a while. And it's a pretty good tent for a little bit of rain, but warmer temperatures because it's got a big vent at the back. Anyway, I'm going to try and put the tent up, find a spot that's not completely saturated and not completely full of roots, and I'll get back to you when I've done that. I'm having a right day. So, forgot my tripod. I've also forgot my sit mat, although I did bring a chair. I don't know what else I've forgotten. I'm sure we'll find out as we do things. Fun, fun, fun. Well, it's up. I also didn't have enough pegs with me either. Today's just a real disaster day. Still, it's just like raining again, so timing's perfect. Let's get the gear inside. Oh, I'm out of the rain. Ground's a little lumpy here. I'm sure I'll be alright though. I can always figure something out. Let's get the mat up and the bed out. Get sorted out for later. Right, so turns out that the bathtub floor is no longer waterproof. So I've put my sleep mat on top of my Gore-Tex bivvy bag. That should stop any real moisture coming through. One of them days today, man. Wow. The rain's sort of coming in bits and pieces. Anyway, I think what I really need is a cup of coffee. I think I'll do that next. Nice new gas cans today. Forgot again. Good God, I'm useless at this. I'm just all out of whack today. Thrown by the rain, thrown by the change in the weather completely. I was perfectly geared up to do a nice bivvy camp. This has just completely knackered it. Now the rain's coming in heavier. Well, hopefully the outside of this tent's still waterproof. Should be right. Let's get some coffee. Well, that can's better. Months. Absolutely months it's not rained. It's good, I suppose, in one way. But it's also a pain in the backside in another way. Oh well, I'm going to get this coffee. And then I guess I'll back into the tent a little bit, shut the door if it stays on like this. Terrible angle. Anyway, see, like I said, my gas can was wrapped in a Ziploc bag. Stop it rattling. But actually, then the Ziploc bag becomes your rubbish bag. Simple, right? This coffee is not sponsored by my cafe, but you could if you wanted to. Right. Quite like this little BRS stove. My only real gripe with it, two gripes. So the pouring spout is too small, and when the lid's on, it just doesn't work. And then the handle is too long. I don't think it's adjustable. No. So it's just a little bit flappy. It needs to be an inch shorter so you can get your hand in there properly. Anyway, no dude, it's a nice little stove and it does work quickly. So, before I was allowed to come out camping, I had to go to the garage and get some food for the number 2 child. Apparently you still have to feed them even though they're 18. I don't know why that can't be changed. Seems a bit cruel. Anyway, whilst I was there getting some food for her, this massive packet of biscuits completely fell off the shelf in front of me. I don't know what happened. They're just sort of some sort of psychic phenomenon, I don't know. So that means I have to eat them now. Not bad. Oh, this rain, in and out. You might be thinking, hang on a minute, massive pack of biscuits. Wasn't he doing a diety health kick thing? And you'll be right. But with the problem with the Achilles at the moment, I can't do any treadmill work. I can't really walk that far. Certainly couldn't hike into anywhere. So I'm just sort of putting it on pause for a bit. I need to get that sorted first. Once that's back in working order, or enough working order, then I can go back onto the diet and I'm not eating the sugar and all that sort of stuff. But for now, there's just no point. Doesn't matter how much of a calorie deficit I sit in. If I'm not active, it's not going to make any difference. So for now, we're on a break. Hopefully in a week or two, hopefully not that long, I can get back to it, get back to the treadmill. Well, that's an awful angle, but it's what I got. So this camp's not going to be very adventurous. I think it will mostly consist of me sitting in the tent like this, or in bed. Maybe we should talk about YouTube a bit. I think it's beginning to die. I've seen, there's the 3 or 4 in this niche, the camping niche, high profile people that have given up. And there's a bunch of people that haven't officially given up at all, but haven't posted for 6 months, 9 months, a couple of years. Fairly large channels. Channels that I thought were getting somewhere. Which is weird. And I think it's because when you start doing YouTube, when you start doing this sort of stuff, you think it's one thing, but it's not. So you think maybe it's a way to make a lot of money, quit the day job, do something you actually enjoy all day long. Buy the latest gear, get sent good stuff from all sorts of manufacturers, all that sort of stuff. It's not really that. Not anymore. Not unless you're already a large site. If you're already I don't know, sort of Paul Messner size, Stephen J. Reed size for UK, then yeah, you're still getting sent stuff, and I suspect your ad revenue is sufficient to make a living out of. Anyone else? It's really not. It's very difficult to get monetized. I'm nowhere near. The subscriber count is very flat. It creeps up, 4 or 5 every week or 2. And the views are dropping across the board. Views on shorts have dropped, views on long form have dropped. Not just on stuff I'm putting out, which could be my fault, obviously, but on the stuff that other people are putting out. You can see that their numbers are declining. And I don't necessarily think it's a problem with the camping niche. I think that YouTube has somehow become enamoured with the TikTok style of things. The 4 or 5 seconds adventurous stuff. The AI slop that is everywhere. That's just so obviously rubbish. I don't like the AI stuff. Videos. Don't like AI generated videos. AI enhanced stuff. Obviously I have to use AI for thumbnails just to make them look good and stand out. But that's about it. Certainly can't make videos with it. But yeah, YouTube seems to have this fascination with the sort of TikTok short lengths of stuff. But it's just not pushing people. It's just not showing content to people like it used to. I subscribe to maybe 40 channels or so, and I'm just not getting notifications or things popping up in the home screen when people are releasing all the time. And I don't get that. It's like they've given up a bit with the algorithm on long form stuff. It's like the subscribe, alert model is sort of falling down, and it's being replaced by this feed me model, the doom scrolling, which is fine for kids, but it's not good for long term. I don't think there's anything we can do about it. I think it's just one of those things. We don't control the algorithm, unfortunately. The only thing we have any control over is our subscription to channels. So here's what I would propose. Within your sphere of interest, wild camping or hiking or whatever it might be, find small channels. Find the guys, my size, or bigger or smaller, whichever. The channels that you can tell are trying. They're producing videos every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever it will be. They're putting in the effort, but the subscriber count might be low still. It might be, the sub 2,000 subscriber counts. And just subscribe. Why not? It doesn't cost you anything. As I was saying, I don't think you're going to see a massive influx of people on your home screen because I just don't think it's working that way anymore. So within stuff that you enjoy, find small channels. Find the little guys, like me. There's plenty of us out there that are trying, doing stuff. But it's hard work. It's not cheap either. Said that before. Being on YouTube is not cheap. It is time consuming. Not only have you got to come out and do the whole thing, you've got to think about it. You've got to have the right kit for it. You've got to constantly refresh that kit to keep it interesting. Like using this tent, I don't think, did I record? I might have recorded once with this tent. But I've got other tents that I've never seen on the channel. I was going to take the Snugpack Ionosphere this week for the bivvy. You've not seen that on the channel. But you do have to keep sort of getting new bits. That's my excuse anyway. Paul Messner calls it GAS. Gear Acquisition Syndrome. He's not wrong. It's just a thing. But that applies equally to your camping equipment, your hiking equipment, but also your camera gear and your mics and your tripods and battery banks for that gear and all the other bits and pieces that you sort of have to have eventually to consistently produce YouTube stuff. It's not cheap. It's not quick. It's not easy. It is time consuming. It does take a lot of effort. So find a small channel. Find a couple of dozen small channels. People that have just started out, or people that are trying. There's plenty of channels my size, that 500 subscriber mark. Plenty. And in fact, that's from like 400 or 500 subscribers up to and past the 1,000 mark is where most people give up. Because that 1,000 mark bracket plus watch time is your monetization part. Not that you can make any money at this at all, but a few pennies end of the day might be interesting. And it is pennies. Anyway, so support the little guy. Support the little guy. Find the small channels and the new channels and the ones that are putting some effort in, but could do with a hand. Subscribe, like their content, send them a comment. All these things, hype even, all these things make a difference on YouTube. Most of the smaller channels don't ask for it. We're just doing it because we like it. We're out here having fun. And we're recording it at the same time. But it is nice. Comments are great. Most small channels will reply to every comment. I know I do. I try to. Likes are great. Hypes are great. I've not had hype before, but I'm sure they're great. I don't know what that does. It must make the algorithm like you a bit more. But if we can't change the algorithm, maybe we can bend it. Because if the algorithm itself starts seeing smaller channels increase quicker, get more comments and get more likes and, you know, subscribers and such, maybe that'll sort of adjust the flow a little. I think that's what's died off. The algorithm's going for the quick and easy, and we need to retrain it, which is all that algorithm is. It's just machine learning that's been trained to look at things. Anyway, so if you like this sort of stuff, camping stuff, wild camping, a little bit of hiking every now and again when my feet are not messing about, then please do subscribe. Stick a like on it, on a video, watch a couple of videos, that'd be fantastic. In fact, the best way to do it, watch one video and then click on the suggested video after it. That's even more productive for the algorithm, because it keeps you interested. It knows that you're interested and you're keeping watching the same channel content. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't. About 90-something% of people that watch any of these videos haven't subscribed. Don't cost you anything. You will get some notification, some level of notification, apparently. You don't have to hit the alert if you don't want to. I'm not even sure that works very well anymore. Like, comment, subscribe, hype, all that sort of stuff. And go and find another small channel and do the same for them. I bought the Zenbivvy bed today. Quite glad. It's quite cold. Temperature says it's only 17 degrees, but I think it's colder than that, especially when the wind blows. I'd forgotten how drafty this tent is. So it's quite a large tent, and the front is quite off the ground. There's also a big back vent. Absolutely fine when it's nice and warm in the summer. It's great, nice and airy. But when the wind blows, and if it's a cold wind, it's cold. I've had to put the jacket on because it's getting chilly, and the wind's getting stronger and stronger. Whoa. Not used to it now. Still very grey. Like the rain's still coming through every now and again, and the wind is getting up, and it's getting colder and colder. I've had one hiker walk past. Don't think he even noticed I was here. I certainly didn't notice until he was right in front of me. Anyway, I'm tempted to have my dinner very early and just crash out in the tent. What time is it? It's 4:15. I've got this Kashmiri potato curry from the Rat Pack. I can feel lumps of potato in there. Checking the ingredients, looks alright. Again, only 122 calories. It's quite low. Anyway, doesn't bother me. Now, I've never had these Rat Packs, so I don't know how good they taste. So I have brought some backups. The good old faithful real Termat reindeer stew. Splendid, that is. I want to keep that. That's my top end backup. And I've also got a Wayfarer chocolate pudding, which first child bought me for Father's Day. Feels pretty much identical to the ration pack one that I had a week ago. I wonder if it is. Wouldn't surprise me at all, to be honest. Put the oil on. So the simmer control on this, very, very light touch. You go from boiling to almost nothing. Oh well, just have to be a little careful. Well, it's bright. Very bright. Let's give it a go. Oh, it's got some flavour to it. Oh. That's not bad, that. Not bad at all. Yeah. I can see why the Rat Pack meal number 4 is, if not the most popular, one of the most popular. Because this is really good. I mean, I'm buying this again, and I'm going to bring a naan bread. I'm going to stuff some chicken in it, because it's really tasty. Oh. I tell you what, if you had this in a restaurant, you'd be very happy. Maybe not a restaurant, maybe a takeaway, but good, really good. Oh. Definitely got some flavour. Okay, so the Wayfarer. Can't really see it in there, can you? Chocolate pudding, chocolate cake bites, whatever they are. They look very similar to the ones that were in the Rat Packs last week. Let's give it a try. Show you a whole one. Now, they're bigger than the Rat Pack ones. They're quite dense. They aren't as tasty as the Rat Pack ones, and there's nowhere near as much sauce as there was in the Rat Pack ones. In fact, there's very little sauce in this. It's got twice as many calories as the main meal. And you know what? It's all right. It's just a little on the bland side. Whereas the Rat Pack one had some real good taste to it. You know, plenty of sauce. Dense, but plenty of sauce. This is just a little bit lackluster. Still, it's tasty. Thank you, child. Better. Quite glad I decided to have an early dinner. One of the big things about coming out camping but doing the YouTube is you tend not to relax quite so much because you're trying to do things all the time with the cameras, set up the shot. But I haven't got a tripod today, so I can't do any of that. I can balance it on top of my stove, the camera, but that's it. It's quite nice. Very different, a little bit more relaxed. Got a cup of tea brewing. Still haven't found any milk. Doesn't matter. I'm going to have a cup of tea. Then I'm going to shut down. Get in my bag, get toasty warm. Watch film. And let's see what the weather brings. Well, that's me all packed up. That was a very different one this week. I really didn't do much filming at all. Not having the tripod was made it a bit of a challenge, but it also made it quite a nice relaxing camp too. Anyway, I've got half the gear back into the car. I need to go and take the tent down, and then I'm shooting off. See you next week.